Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Gals. I'm here with Urja, and she has a really interesting story. She's worked at Microsoft, AT&T, now Expedia. She's doing some really cool stuff with students at the University of Washington. So we're going to first start with, what do you do at Expedia every day? Like you go in the office, what are you doing?
So I am a software engineer at Expedia. I work on full stack and lots of technologies like C# and Java and JavaScript. And every day, what I and my team do is we put up services and create this platform which helps Expedia customers meet their travel needs. So my day-to-day kind of goes like starting from designing the features to talking to architects about how do we want to implement these features and design those, and then basically create the code behind that, and then come together as a team and kind of decide that, yeah, this is what the implementation is that we want to go with. And then as our sprint starts, and it's a 2-week sprint, as our sprint starts and stuff, then we basically start jumping in, writing code across those features. And I also kind of drive the efforts in my team and make sure that we have a quality feature delivered at the end of the sprint. And does this meet all the criteria that we set up for success and that we help our customers with? And so kind of develop a lot of services and applications and put in features for all of that.
So is it a website or an app or both? You're managing both of those?
There's an app also. There's not a website, but there's an app, and then there are microservices behind the app that I work on. And currently though, but I've been with Expedia for last 3 years, so I've moved around between teams and then between different products and features that we put together. So last year we started a lot of new microservices, and so that's pretty much what I'm working on right now.
Okay, cool. And how do you know what's a good feature that people want? Are you reading forums or requests from people, or how are you guys deciding, oh, we need to implement this new feature?
Yeah, so we have product managers and program managers working very closely with the customers. So they are basically the voice of the customers that bring those features and stories to us as development team. And then we sit together with them and understand hey, what was the need behind, the business need behind this kind of a feature that users are looking for? How will it help them? If they want to cancel some itinerary or something, what are the key things that are needed and things like that. So they are the people who bring in more of that to the development team, and then we go from there.
What is one feature that you're really proud of that you just helped implement?
Oh, there are a lot.
One of them.
One is there's this cancel service that is really cool in the sense that it's a modern service as to if somebody calls Expedia and says, hey, I want to cancel my booking, and either through phone or they do it self-service through some channel themselves or something. Basically, we have our agents who open up this application and deal with the customers' services and help them meet their needs. And that application opens up this cancel form and says, okay, I can see your item, and here's how I can cancel it and all. And it's a very seamless experience for the agents.
Okay.
And in the background, it's this cool modern microservice that handles all of that cancel that I and my team built.
Nice.
So that's really exciting.
Yeah. I love Expedia. The prices are great. The customer service is amazing. Let me tell you, every time I call, there's someone on the line. They're hilarious.
Really?
I was canceling my friend's bachelorette party and rebooking it. And he was like, oh, can I come? It sounds like so much fun. I want to party with you. And I was just like, this is hilarious. This is the best customer service I've ever had. So I love Expedia. I only wanted to see it going up. So I'm glad people like you are working and helping make it amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad to.
So before Expedia, though, where were you? And we're going to go backwards in your life. So where were you before?
So before Expedia, I worked with Microsoft here.
Nice.
So this sounds familiar, all the buildings and everything. And so I worked with the different teams in Expedia. There was CRM, Dynamics team.
Oh, you mean Microsoft?
At Microsoft, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
So before Expedia, I worked at Microsoft for different teams like CRM, and then I was also part of Apex team, which is Mac and Apple services.
Oh, cool.
And basically, office products for iPhone and iPad and Apple. And so I was there a little bit of time working at Microsoft, almost about 3 years here too.
Wow.
Yeah, in different teams.
Yeah, 3 years, 3 years. You move every 3 years. That seems to be your trend. No, you're fine.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Spice it up. Who cares? That's really cool. So you're working on that. And then before that, you were in India working at AT&T, right?
Yeah, so I was, before that, I was in India working for a project here, which was with AT&T, although my location was working in India with a company, and then working on AT&T website also as a software development engineer in test mostly, and kind of making sure the quality of the products are
You've
good.
seen it all, huh?
I mean quite a bit, but not all, I guess.
That's cool. And then where were you before that? Were you in university or?
Yeah, so I studied from India. I studied from Sardar Patel University, and I did my graduation bachelor's in computer science and information technology.
Nice.
So that's where I was before that.
Nice, that's cool. So you got a really cool story. You've been a part of a lot of different companies, building a lot of different websites, apps, products, so you know it. So she's a good one to know. So now let's talk about this whole University of Washington program that you're helping. Give us a backstory, what it is, and what you do to help.
Yeah, so University of Washington has a great, incredible pool of students who are so aspiring in that they want to get into STEM fields, and they're already people looking at tech careers. And so the way it started was, again, going back a little bit. Last year at Expedia in 2017 summer, there was an intern software engineer who joined our company, and I was assigned a mentor for her. So towards the end of her internship, like 3 months into her project and everything, this is what she said to me. She was like, I wish I had someone like you to talk to during college.
Aww.
So that got me thinking that I want to change that I wish to I'm glad. And then apparently during January 2018 this year, I came across this really nice, awesome community nonprofit organization called Husky Tech on UW campus. So that's a team of students running this community, and I just reached out to them and said like, hey, do you want to start some kind of mentorship program, and I can help you get that started, and we can launch a program where industry professionals can connect with students and kind of just talk about their experiences and careers and motivate them or inspire them or help them and support them, guide them through whatever career aspects they are looking at. And I learned that precisely they had their similar vision as well. So we met for coffee and we had back and forth chats, and then we talked about like challenges and what will it take to run the program and everything, and how to bring in mentors from like a diverse group of companies like Microsoft, Expedia, Google, and Facebook, and Amazon, and other tech companies as well, and even entrepreneurs, and all of that. And then one thing led to the other, and then we put out like a plan, and then the team did a great job. And the founder and president, who is Arjun Lalwani, who I work with, and his team did amazing job in pulling off this idea together. And then basically we spread the word, and then the next thing we knew was people are signing up, and then right now the program is already running.
Yeah? How long has it been running?
It's been, there have been 3 sessions. So far, the 3rd one is yet to happen. So it's throughout the spring cohort, and then the next round will happen later, which is still TBD.
Okay, so what is the actual process, and what's happening at these meetings and these, what's going on?
Yeah, so in the first session, like every session has an agenda. First session was like mingle with your mentors and mentees. And second session is an industry past or share your industry experience. And then the third session, which is yet to happen, is accelerate your tech career. And so in each of these sessions, you go and meet your mentees, and every mentor is assigned or paired with 2 mentees or 2 students. And then basically there is an agenda, but it's not like you have to kind of follow it based on your conversations that are going on, right? Yeah. And so we lay out a plan saying here's the agenda, and here are the things that you can talk about and learn from each other and ask questions to your mentees or to your mentors. And then look at key projects as to like what are the key projects that the students are contributing to, or they want to contribute to. Are they like more into resume building right now
Okay,
phase, or are they looking for internships or something? Can I help with that and help them, guide them in whatever ways I could.
And then when you meet, is it every 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's every 3 weeks.
Yeah, but they could still like reach out to you, like text or email, and still ask questions when things come up. So it's not like you go dark for 3 weeks. You're still there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and that's also part of the expectation of the program, that in those 3 weeks time frame between the first and your next session, you're technically supposed to meet with your mentees either through any channels like phone or email or any online chat, or even in person. So I met my mentees in person for lunch, and then we did some kind of mock interview thing also.
Nice.
That helped them.
Yeah. So what's like one of the questions they've asked you that you found interesting?
Yeah,
that you were able to help guide them with?
They do ask me about like how do I balance my work and life, and then they also ask me questions as to like, do you go and like just work in meetings, like do you sit in meetings all day?
Yeah.
Or it's like, do you just code all day and all night? And these are like great questions.
Yeah, they don't know what to expect. Yeah. But the life balance is funny to me because a college student has so much going on. How do they do it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I was like, you're absolutely right. I was like, you tell me how you balance your life, right? Because you are like running these communities, you are part of these programs also, and
they have classes.
And you have classes, exactly. And then you still study and everything. Plus, they're doing so many side projects. I wasn't doing that many side projects or anything when I was
dating,
in college.
they're going to parties, so much going on. I don't do any of those things anymore. I just go to work and go home, and that's my life. But there is a lot like they're handling on their own. It's really cool.
Yeah. So that's
Does
really
it make you
cool.
feel good that you can give them advice, yeah, it feels good. Like,
yeah, it feels good, and it feels really valuable when they tell you that, hey, I used this piece of advice of yours, or tried this out, and that was really helpful and motivating or inspiring. So that's really nice.
So what's the goal for the program in the future? Where do you want it to go, and what do you want to see it turn into? Yeah,
we definitely want this program to also continue and have more and more mentors sign up and like help the students out. And we couldn't accommodate 132 students that signed up. So definitely want to continue that path and make the best out of it.
So do you need more mentors? Because there's a shortage of them? Because you're doing two or three students a mentor. And you couldn't accommodate more than 130.
Yeah, and that also like comes down to the space and the area where we choose. And so in University of Washington, there's this huge conference room which can accommodate only a handful of people. So even then we were able to get like 50 students as mentees and 25 mentors, and plus the team, the Husky Tech team.
And everyone's just squeezed in the room, and it's just too tight, and they're just like, oh.
No, there's quite enough
There's
room.
enough space. Okay, that's cool. So you want it to be global, right? You want this to take off, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've got that question asked, and even Arjun, who's the founder and president of Husky Tech, has got this question asked that is this like a program that works virtually or not? So far not virtually. It's only for Seattle location and University of Washington Seattle campus. But like people in my network at Expedia know that there's this great program, and they also want to be part of it, and other tech companies, industry professionals also want to be part of it. And some organizers have reached out saying like, hey, can we start this something similar effort in Singapore office or in Chicago office?
Nice.
Or APAC region for that matter, in India and stuff.
Cool.
So that's really exciting.
Nice. So go volunteer, sign up, make it global. Let's blow this thing up. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna wrap things up now. Let's do a quick Q&A to get to know you a little bit better. Okay. So I'm just gonna spit out some questions. You're gonna help answer.
Sure.
All right. So. What do you spend money on that makes your life easier?
Oh, gadgets like my watch, because I really
What is
need.
that?
This is a Pebble watch with.
Cool.
It still has buttons. It's not a touch screen, but it's really nice because I get all my notifications on this. So if my phone is at my desk or something, and if I'm at somebody else's desk or something, and then I get a reminder saying, "Hey, I have a meeting," or
I gotta go.
Or somebody's calling, or like at least you can quickly look at that.
So that's your favorite like gadget that you've spent money on. What's something that you've spent money on that you regret? Like another gadget. You're just like, oh, why did I buy that? I thought it was a good idea.
There isn't one like that. I think
You're
maybe
pretty smart with your money.
well, slightly. Maybe it's Windows Phone, but I don't regret it as much because it was the first phone that I used to create my own apps and publish my apps in the store. So I'm like really happy about that.
Nice. What did you build? What was the app you built?
So there was this app. Usually, your reminder apps tell you like, hey, you have a meeting in 15 minutes, right? And so when I used to go in my one-on-ones with my manager, they're like very quick and short meetings, like 30 minutes. So towards the end of the 30 minutes, there would be like 5 things in my head, because based on our conversation, we would be talking about things. But then there would be 5 things in my head, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have to cover all these 5 things that I thought of that I will cover in today's meeting.
Yep.
But now we only have 5 minutes. So maybe that has to go next time or something, right? Because you're in the middle of the conversation, you don't want to be like, oh, but wait, my other 5 things or something, right? And so that thought made me think that maybe I can write an app where I have a phone in my pocket, and my manager or whoever is the person that I'm in the meeting with doesn't have to know that my phone beeped or anything, but just my phone vibrates or something and kind of sends me a reminder that there's only 5 minutes left. Or I can configure it to be like there's only 10 minutes left now, and not like, oh, you have 15 meeting in 15 minutes. Yes, that's great too. But in this app, you can also configure
while you're in the meeting.
While you're in the meeting.
Versus doing this.
Yeah, versus doing that.
Rudely. Oh, hold on. Not that I'm rushing out of here. I literally just want to check time.
But now you can have a watch like this and be like, oh, some notification, but I was actually checking the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool. Okay, so I guess this leads into the next question. What's your favorite app? Either phone or desktop, just something that makes your life like flow much better.
There are a lot of them, and there's one of my teammates who calls me the app lady.
Really?
I don't know why.
Do you know everything? You know the latest and greatest? No, not even?
No. And like the favorite that I have is something called IFTTT. So
if this, then that.
If this, then that, yeah. And I really like it because there's like a lot of other apps that you can integrate it with. And then you can set your own rules saying, right, like if I call 911 in the middle of the day or anything, my husband gets a text right away that Urja called 911.
That's smart. Yeah, you are strategizing ahead. I need to get that. I think Flow, Microsoft has a product, Microsoft Flow, it's kind of like that.
Oh, okay.
It's not so specific, it's more for business infrastructure. But that's cool, I should get that set up. Do you listen to music when you code?
No, I don't.
Too distracting.
No, I love music, but not when I code. It's kind of, otherwise I'll just focus on the music.
The lyrics. You're like
and
rapping along. You're like, what is your favorite programming language?
It's been Java and C#, I would say. Yeah. I don't like scripting languages like VB or those much. Yeah.
That's fine. You like what you like. All right, cool. So let's wrap up with what's your advice for the younger generation that are interested in getting involved in tech and like having a tech career? Like where would you tell them to get started?
Yeah, I would say that first of all, if you are thinking of getting into tech, then go for that. Like, don't think twice. It's really amazing to be in tech and, have this positive attitude that you can always do it. And there are people like us, there's you, there's me, there are other people who have done it before. So we all have been there.
Yeah.
And, just find good role models for yourself and go from there and be positive and believe in yourself.
Love it. Take that to heart because she's been there, done that. She knows it all. Follow Urja. Do you have a Twitter or LinkedIn? Are you active on any social medias?
I don't tweet, but I have a Twitter handle.
Then don't publicly announce it if you're not going to. But you can find me on
LinkedIn.
Okay, cool. You write posts there?
You can find me on LinkedIn.
Cool. All right, I'm glad to have you. Right on.
Same here. Thanks so much.
See you guys next time.
See ya.